Welcome to the Medium in the Middle podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie, the medium in the middle. On this podcast, I share my journey as a developing psychic medium, as a Reiki master teacher, as an Akashic record practitioner, and anything else that's thrown my way. Join me every week. I release new episodes every Tuesday. Hello. Welcome to episode 104, Middlers. 104, we're into triple digits. Feels weird saying it, but here we are. Welcome to a new episode. My name is Stephanie. I am the medium in the middle, and I'm excited for today's episode to share with you, I want to say a little spirit story, but it's not little. So kind of a shorter episode today, as this is just going to be a standalone story. But before I share the story, I of course wanted to pull some cards for you. I said it before, and I'll say it again. I've been really liking this mediumship deck. So it's the Mediumship Training Deck by John Holland. None of my decks are sponsored. I just tell you what I like and what I don't like. And I've been pulling one card from this deck every week just to put a little focus back on mediumship, which this week is going to be as well. But it's been fun. So I've been learning a lot. I hope you enjoy them. And you don't have to buy the deck because I'll just tell you one thing a week. So the card that I pulled this week was Impression versus Expression. Impression versus expression. There are multiple ways that we receive information from spirit. It could be words, images, or feelings, but how we relay or express the information back to the recipient must be carried out with due consideration and utmost care and sensitivity. Many mediums are taught that you should always give what you get when delivering a message. In a sense, that's true, but as mediums, we must honor that many people look to us to assist them with their grief and are often still distraught, no matter how much time has passed since their loss. Always remember that while we must be open to any spiritual impressions, we are responsible for conveying a sensitive expression. Interesting. People pass over to the spirit world in a variety of ways from natural causes, unexpected illnesses, or other circumstances. When you give off information, it's a delicate process. For example, if you're impressed with a scene of someone's passing, then you must be sensitive and discerning when you express the information to the sitter. It's possible they could be very emotional as they're still going through the bereavement process. They don't need to relive every detail of the experience again. That is so true. Communicating that you're aware of a type of passing and, if possible, which area of their body was affected, as well as their relationship to the sitter, is often enough evidence for the recipient. Be kind and compassionate, as having an inherent sensitive nature is always a great asset for any medium to possess. This is so true, and I think this is a really good card and a good reminder. Impressions versus expressions. You do have to be aware when you're delivering messages what the message is and deliver it with care. Absolutely. I like that one. Okay, and then I wanted to pull a card from the Rebecca Campbell Work Your Light deck, and I pulled the card Sisterhood of the Rose, Beauty and Devotion, Priestess, Mystic, Teacher. The Sisterhood of the Rose is a lineage of priestesses and mystics who devote their lives to serving humanity and seeding light consciousness all over Earth. A cross-section of ancient lineage, it is the path of devotion and beauty. Walking this path means being devoted to seeing and creating beauty wherever you go. The rose symbolizes the heart and the sacred geometry of all life. You are being called to notice the beauty around you, particularly in nature, and hear the whispers of Mother Earth. You are being called to spend more time in nature, as all the ancient secrets live there. Mother Earth is constantly whispering. Spend time admiring her creations, and you will be rewarded with insight and grace. You are being called to take a little more time to both notice this beauty that exists all around you and contribute to the beauty of the world in your own way, too. This could be through your own creations or in the little things like how you dress to picking flowers for your home. Every time you devote your time to creating beauty, you harmonize the planet a little more and the shift in vibration can be felt. Ooh. Work your light action. Surround yourself with beauty and create beauty wherever you go. I like that card. A little reminder, Sisterhood of the Rose. If you want to see the physical cards, you can follow me on Instagram at Medium in the Middle. I post them every Tuesday. I cannot believe that this episode is the end of October. I am going to see Taita at the end of this week, so there's going to be some good Taita content. I'm going to put her in a middler shirt. It's going to be hilarious. So I'm really, really excited for that, and she will be on the podcast. I don't know if it'll be next week or the week after. But moving into announcements, we're going into November and December, the last 2 months of 2021. Has anyone digested this? Because I have not. I just launched my last Reiki level 2 of the year, my last Reiki course of the year. So it's going to be the first weekend of December, December 4th and 5th. It is Reiki level 2. If you are interested in continuing your Reiki journey and you took Usui Reiki level 1, then you can take level 2, and it'll be my last course of the year. There will be more courses in January. It just feels like the year is wrapping up and I'm not ready. I feel not rushed, but it's like, holy moly, we're looking to the end of the year already. 2022 is coming. Has anyone stopped to think about this? I'll just give us all a moment. It's November soon. Holy moly. So for announcements, I have my last Reiki course up. The meeting in the middle for November and December will also be coming very soon. December's will be a year in review, the funnest. And November is going to be about manifesting money. So really excited for those two things. And today, my mentorship started, my one-on-one mentorship with my mentees, my Midler mentees. I should have called it that, Midler mentees. Why do we think of the good things after you launch? I was smiling ear to ear. I couldn't be happier to be mentoring 8 beautiful souls right now. The program will be relaunching in January. It is an 8-week container, and then I can take on new people. So really, really, really excited about that. Even today was day 1, and I'm just flying high. So that is what's up in Medium in the Middle land and for announcements. So I want to jump into the story for this week. And it was such a good story. Sometimes spirit just hits you good, And there's that meme where it's show me a sign, spirit. And then you get a sign. And then you say, show me a signier sign, spirit. And then you get a signier sign, and then you're like, show me 7 more signs, spirit. And I always say, it doesn't happen that way. But this time, it happened that way. So this is just a quick little story of how spirit can just sprinkle themselves into our lives. I was doing a Psych K session, and it was with one of my Reiki students, so someone that I knew, and it was a first Psych K together. So Psych K, we do balances, and we sit and we stand a lot. So for this point, she was standing and her hands were open. So she's standing with her hands open. For the portions of Psych K, we're releasing limiting beliefs. So just as a refresher, Psych K is all about your limiting beliefs. So what we do is we try to find those limiting beliefs, then we change them. So if you believe that you're no good at saving money, we would check on, I am good at saving money, or it is easy and fun for me to save money. And if your subconscious mind tested negative to that, then we do Psych K to make that statement a positive testing statement, because we want your subconscious mind to believe that statement. So we're in the process of doing that. So part of the balance is these things that we do to release the old limiting belief. So it feels, I always say, Psych K is energy work. We are literally releasing old beliefs. So you usually feel lighter after Psych K, even more than Reiki, because Reiki can make you feel heavy if we're grounding you or moving a lot of energy to your feet. But with Psych K, you usually feel very light, very balloony. Usually people feel like a weight has been lifted off their chest or their shoulders. So we're removing things. So anyways, that's what we're doing in the Psych K session. And for the balances, you sit in them until you feel the release or until your body starts to move. So there's a bunch of different things that we do, but that's the Coles Notes version of what's going on. So the client was sitting in one of the balances and her arms were outstretched to her side. So she was doing that, and I usually have my eyes closed because I test with you to make sure we feel the same things, to make sure the release is there. It just helps it go faster. So usually my eyes are closed, but I just happened to peek my eyes open, and all of a sudden on the screen was a thumbs up in the corner of Zoom. And I was like, weird. And then right as the thumbs up popped up was right when her hands started to move and she started to balance. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I said out loud, I was like, so crazy. Just when you started to move and balance, a thumbs up came up. I was like, that's so crazy. So whatever, the thumbs up disappeared. And I was just like, wow, that's crazy. So then the second balance we're doing, she again is in the same balance. Her arms are extended by her side. And then it says, I opened my eyes, because again, my eyes are closed, and it said that the client had raised their hand. And I was like, what? And then I looked up into the corner, and the little hand raise on Zoom was up. And I was like, what is going on? There's no way she touched that. Her hands are apart. And then, just as she started moving, what happens? The thumbs up pops up again. It stays for 5 seconds and disappears. And then I'm freaking out, and I was like, no way. I said, spirit never comes through in Psych K. If one of the places that I really, it never comes through is Psych K sessions. Yes, Akashic Records, sometimes spirit sneaks in. Yes, Reiki, sometimes spirit sneaks in, but not Psych K. People sometimes ask me at the end of a Psych K, any spirits? I'm like, no, no way. We're working hard. There's not even a chance for spirit to come in. But this was so physical, I was like, okay, this has happened twice now. This is spirits literally saying hello and then giving you a thumbs up. I was like, is there anyone that you wanted to know was okay and would be waving at you and thumbs upping you? And she was like, yeah, I think so. I think it was my friend. I was kind of thinking about him and asking for a sign. And I was like, well, those are signs. I was like, you got 2 thumbs up and a wave? That's insane. I'm like, and at the exact moment that you were balancing, there's just no way. There's just no way. 2 times in a row, and these were back-to-back balances. So we did a balance, checked it, moved on to the next one. It happened again. I was like, holy cow, freaking out. So we move on to our third balance, and it's fun being psychic. I was like, this is going to happen again. I was like, we're going to get 3 in a row. No way. So I had my phone ready. I got my phone open and I opened the camera. So again, we're doing the exact same balance. Her hands are extended by her side and I'm waiting for it. So the hand is still there because we haven't put down the hand. So the hand is still there in the corner. And then, wouldn't you know it, as soon as she starts to move, the thumbs up comes. And I freak out. I was like, are you kidding me? It's there again. It's there again. Because her eyes are closed. And it just flashed for 5 seconds. And I was like, the thumbs up came again just as you were balancing. Literally, you started to move your hands because you were balancing. And the thumbs up came again. I was like, there is no way this happened 3 times in a row. Holy cow, your friend is being so strong and so clear. 3 times in a row, that never happens. In the span of 15 minutes, we did a balance, it happened. We did a balance, it happened. We did a balance, it happened. So we move on to the next balance. And I said, okay, if this happens again, I'm going to lose my mind. There's no way it could happen 4 times. There's no way. And for this time, we were doing a new balance. So her hands weren't out extended by her side. We were doing a different balance. So again, my eyes were closed, and just as I started to feel the release, I opened my eyes just to check the computer, literally in my mind, being like, there's no way the thumbs up's gonna come again. It's happened 3 times in a row. Now she's sitting. So just as I started to feel the release, and then she literally said, I think I'm feeling the release, I opened my eyes. What's on the screen? A thumbs up. The thumbs up popped up for 5 more seconds. And I I was freaking out. Like, I think she was like very much in the zone of like Psych K and releasing and doing the balancing. And on my end, I was like, I'm on Zoom all day long, every day for the past, 2 years almost, having all these meetings. Literally, the hand has never popped up, like, and the thumbs up has never popped up. I didn't even know those existed until like a month ago. So I was like, this is insane. 4 times in a row. So I had my camera out again and I took another photo because I was like, this is madness. So we were doing the 5th and final balance. And we're getting into the balance and I was like, there's no way it's going to happen 5 times. If this happens 5 times right at the moment that she is going to balance and release, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but this is literally madness, insanity. So we're doing the balance and my eyes are closed and I keep peeking my eyes open and I keep peeking my eyes open. And I was like, no, Steph, it's not going to happen 5 times. It's not going to happen 5 times. And it didn't. It didn't happen on the 5th time. But I was just thinking to myself, if this happened 5 times in a row, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? Anyways, and then it was just such a crazy experience. After the balances were done, we had a talk and it was like, wow, your friend was really sending you some clear messages. Like, holy moly. He was really like waving and telling you he's fine. Like, is that what you were asking for? And she was like, kind of, yes. Like, I've been getting messages, but I wasn't quite sure. And I was like, the thumbs up is literally all you need. He like kept thumbs upping you. You have to accept that as a message. Like, you have to. She was like, yes, I know. And it was just like so cool. I was freaking out at the end. I was like, I'm sorry for freaking out, but 4 times in a row. 4 times in a row. So all those times that I said that spirit won't come through over and over and over again and send you the same sign over and over and over again, you just have to accept it. I lied. I was put in my place that day when we got a signal 4 times, the same signal in a row, back to back to back. And this was all in a span of like 20 minutes. So I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I was like, today was a crazy day. And I know I've said this before, but mediumship has really been on ever since that group reading a month ago. Spirit has really been trickling in again. And it's probably because I really opened up my boundaries for that group reading. So it's been happening kind of more and more often again. And I'm doing another group reading at the beginning of November. So I'm really interested to see how 2021 wraps up and what happens for 2022. I'm not saying I'm going to do mediumship readings. I'm just saying I'm interested to see what happens because Spirit's been coming in hot and they're like everywhere. They're disrupting my Reiki trainings. They're disrupting my client sessions. Archie's been going nuts, barking at nothing, looking at things. And something's in the work. Spirit has a plan. They always have a plan, but they're doing something. So, yeah, the other day I heard random noises coming from my closet, like a knocking. I was like, that's scary. It happened 3 times. I'm like, okay, I'm going to leave this room. I'm not ready for this right now. So, and some of my mentor students were working in the mediumship realm. So even today with my first client, I was giving a random example and I was like, oh, if his name was John and died at 43 and he's something about blueberry pie. And she goes, that's my brother. Is my brother here? And I was like, oh, geez. I'm like, examples are never random. So it's just ooh, it's coming in hot. So we'll see what happens with Spirit and me. Spirit and me. Sounds like Mommy and Me, like a little song. Okay, I'm done here. So that's the little story that I wanted to tell you. And yeah, 4 signs in a row. I hope you guys are all as amazed as I am. And also the power of Spirit. The power. And it was so confirming and everything about she wanted to confirm on her intuition and she kept getting thumbs up. It was just yes, they're screaming at you. They're literally screaming at you. So she definitely felt the energy. She knew it was him and she was feeling really good about the messages. I was more freaking out about the 4 times in a row, but I had to share that on the podcast, even though it's a small little story. It's not a small little story. It's a short story, I should say, because you guys have to know that this is possible and it's available and it happened to me. So it can happen to you. That should be also my tagline. So that's what I wanted to share this week. I hope you enjoyed that spirit story. 4 signs in a row. 4. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4. Literally blew me away. So that's what I have for you this week. Next week, I will see you on Tuesday for a brand new episode. If you want to book an appointment with me for distance Reiki, Psych K, Akashic Record readings, or in-person Reiki in Banff, if you're going to be in the area, come see me. That's all on my website. The link will be down below in the show notes. The link to register for Reiki Level 2 in December will also be in the show notes. And by next week, I will have the meeting in the middles up and available for you to register for November and December. And the end of the year is near. The end of the year is near. I'm blown away. November. Holy moly. So I hope you all have a wonderful Halloween, and I will see you all in your ears next Tuesday. Bye, everybody.